Hello and welcome back to Emma's Crafty Space. Thank you so much for joining me again for another tutorial. In this tutorial, I am actually going to team up the Poinsettia Place suite with this little bundle, which is called the Little Treats Bundle. It is a very cute little bundle, very ditzy. You can see how small this little treat box actually is, and I have one of the wee Malteser rainbows in there, partly because the wrapping of it is more like real red than any other Christmas sweets at the moment, but you can see it is quite cute. You could fit other things into it, like the wee Biscoff packets, or some of the wee Lindor chocolate treat or something, or some of the Hershey's or Reese's Pieces and things like that. Really is up to you. The bundle, the actual die section of it is quite extensive in that you get your cutter for your box, which is this outside one, so I'll lift that off, and then you have all these gorgeous little tags, and then obviously your coordinating one. So this is a wee tag as well with a nice scalloped edge with stitching. There's a ring, again a nice scallop circle with a stitching edging on it, and this actually cuts out the present. So if you look at that, so that marries to that. Then you've got all these little baubles here. There's a stamp for the ring as well. This one here is the Santa's hat, and there is a spider. Now I think they're different because if you look at that spider, it's actually very intricate, so it stamps and embosses at the same time, but look at the detail in the spider's body. I have to say I'm not a Halloween fan, but I do think you could get a lot of mileage with this. Even with this gorgeous metallic mesh ribbon, you could use that as like a spider web and have like your little spiders all tangled up in it, you know, as your tie, you know, you could have them all hanging in there. So if you're a Halloween fan, I definitely do think it's one that would be ideal, especially for making treats for all those little kids that are coming around trick-or-treating. But for me, I'm more Christmas gal, so I'm going to stick with my Christmas theme for these ones. So I'll just put this to the side. Now, although I have done this with the Poinsettia Place DSP, I'm actually going to try it with the vellum this time. Okay, so I absolutely love it. The only thing is that it's directional, so I just don't know how it's going to work out. The die itself actually measures 5.5 inches by just under 7 inches. So technically you're only going to get 2 to 12 by 12, but if you cut a 6 by 6 and then set it on diagonally, you should get it, or just about get it anyway, and it means then your paper is going to go a bit further. So I'm going to cut it out and see how it works. I think it should be okay, because it's really, this is really only the bag part. The decorating kind of takes away if the pattern is upside down or just obscured a little bit. So I'll go off camera and cut it out and come back. So that is my piece cut out. The cutter itself is great in that it actually embosses the lines where you need to crease as well. With this being vellum, I just need to take extra care that I don't actually split it whenever I'm creasing it. So just do one section at a time and don't go too heavy on the burnishing. Okay, and then one last crease on either side here. It's an idea as well, just before you start working with the vellum, because it's flocked, it's like pure white. So maybe give your hands a little wash just so you don't pick up any like grease or anything off your hands. Okay, so that is basically how your box is going to be put together. Now, if you wanted to have wider sides in your box, you don't have to join these. You could like have these staggered out and stuck to these panels at an angle. But I'm just going to make it up the way it should be. Now, I'm going to use a glue dot in this. So if you see, there's a little notch cut out here and then a little tab that basically just sits in there like that. So I'm actually going to put a glue dot on this side, and it just means then I'm not having to sit and wait for the glue to dry. It just might be a little bit fiddly putting it in with having that extra thickness of the glue dot to go in through that slit, but I think it's worth it if you get it in there. So I'm just realizing I've put this on the wrong side. taking that out and repositioning it in there. Okay, and then just press it, and that should hold that in place. Again, same thing in there, like that. So my glue dot has to go on this side. Okay, so put your glue dot here. Thread it through that little hole. Make sure the top edges marry up, and then give it a press. Okay, so that is pretty much that part done. Now you're all you have to do is get your front and your back of it just to kind of marry up and stick to itself. Okay, so again, you can use glue. With it being vellum, I would probably tend to try and put a glue dot where you have some of the flocked sections so that you can't see them. So have a wee look to see how far that this little box part comes up, so that you're not going over the top of that. So for me, I'm just putting some on here. I'm just going to bring this down so I know we can put one here as well. So just set it on the bottom and then bring the sides up to meet. Okay, so now I know I've got a glue dot in there, and there's one in there, and I know there's one there, and there could potentially be one there too, but you can't see them because I have done them underneath the flocked sections. So same with this side. So bring this down so you can see. One there. One there. And I'll do one there. I might actually just add an extra one because they're all, the design of that's all quite far down. So there's one there. Okay, and then again, just bring this up and marry the edges up. Give them a press down. So that is your box complete. Now all you have to do is decorate it. Now I'm not one for faffing about with ribbons and things like that. So I am literally just going to tie mine. So thread that through. Now those wee holes get die cut out with that, along with that lovely little scallop detail. Just notice it needs punched out. So make sure you've got, your die has lifted all those out for you. I find that so satisfying, punching out with a pokey tool some of the little pieces that the die's missed. So just make sure they're all free and all the holes are not blocked in, because you just won't have the same kind of effect with it. So I'm using, as I said, I'm using the little Malteser reindeers. I was going to say bunnies, but we're past Easter. And just thread that through. I don't know if an after 8 would fit. I'm not a fan of after 8, so I don't really know the size of them, but if they're like anything else and they get smaller as you get older, then it probably would fit. So again, it's up to you what length you want this to be. Okay. So I've cut out a couple of the tags just to sort of know what I'm going to play with. So I think this wee one here, so you could lay that down and go across. Yeah, maybe do that. Okay, so again, I'm going to do glue dots just because the wet glue takes so long to stick to the vellum. So we'll just go 3 across. Okay, so just gauge where you want to go down. Put your fingers in and give it a wee bit of help there. And then we'll go with this larger one. So we'll pick out a greeting. Thank you for making this season wonderful. Merry Christmas. I think that'd be too big. Happy Holidays is quite small. Warm wishes from warm home to yours. That would be quite cute if you were going to put like a favorite tea bag or a coffee sachet into it. Okay, so we'll go, thank you for making this season, or thank you for making this a wonderful season. So again, I'm just going to use my grid paper to make sure I've got it straight. Okay. And dimensionals, I think, on this. Okay. So I've stamped that in soft suede. It's one of the colours. So these stitch edges, I'm lining them up to the edge of the treat box. Set that down. I've cut out 2 of the smallest poinsettias out of the poinsettia dies, and I am just curling them. And then we'll stagger them into each other. So this is going to be a very red project, very red and white. It's quite Scandinavian. So just let them glue a wee second. Okay. I'm going to maybe put a wee dimensional there because I don't want the poinsettia obscuring the greeting on my tag. So I'll use a mini and just set that there. Set that down. And then I think I need another colour. Try one of these little metallic pearls, maybe in gold. Just to give us another colour. That little pearl just finishes up. So that is it. The cutest little treat box. You'd even make them up as place settings for your table. The only thing is, if you're doing to and from, which I have stamped here, you'd obviously need to write your tag before you actually attach it. So I just think they're really cute. Hope you liked the tutorial and you maybe have a go at making one yourself. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Bye bye.